Hey, business owners, if you feel like quitting and giving up on your business, here's what you need to do. Kevin Ware, your Action Business Coach, and if you think this is going to be a rah-rah session to stick it out and never quit and never give up and push through all of your challenges, you are sorely mistaken. So there's a great book that I read a while back, and I would definitely recommend that you, if you're in a position where you do want to quit and give up on your business, here's a great, let's try that again, a great book called Quit by the author Annie Duke. And Annie wrote a very definitive book on when you are in a position in life, in so many circumstances, should you stick it out or should you bail out? You know, too many times there are plenty of examples in this book of people who should have quit long before they did, and they just kept right on going. So I want you to read this book, and I'll have the link for the book in the comment section below. So, should you quit? Should you not quit? So we're going to go through 5 critical questions that you need to ask yourself in order to determine if it's time to pull the plug on this business, or just get going, saddle up, and keep on going. So the first question you need to ask yourself is, are you in industry in a field that is going under? If you are the owner of a pet rock business or a Betamax repair shop, yeah, that train left the station long ago. And so, yeah, that's a little bit of a ridiculous example, but you have to start asking yourself, am I in an industry or a field that is slowly but surely becoming obsolescent? And sometimes the answer might be yes, and it might be one of those, maybe it's either you pivot hard into something else or you move on and find something else. Nobody wants to be the pet rock business or Betamax business who's going to stick it all, to the end until everything falls apart. So be honest with yourself. Number 2, are you staying because of what we call the sunk cost fallacy? Now, what is the sunk cost fallacy? Basically what it is that if you've invested a large amount of resources into a business, both money and time, you have basically what we call sunk cost. You've put that money and you've put that effort into the business, and it mentally traps you into getting a return on investment for your money and your time, even when it's obvious it's not going to work. See, we've got a lot of ownership of funds that we have sunk into a business. We put it $250,000, $500,000, $1 million, and that is money we have put into this business, and by God, we are going to do whatever it takes to turn this business around and get that money that we invested back in, make it profitable. And you know what? Sometimes that's never going to happen. So you have to ask yourself, am I stuck in a sunk cost fallacy, that I am trapped into this mindset of time and money and effort that I've sunk into this, and it's never going to turn around? So ask yourself that. Number 3 is, are your debts too great to overcome? If you're having huge loans and credit card bills, you have to ask yourself and then do the math. If I turn this business around, how long would it take for me to actually pay off all of this debt, considering how my business is structured or how I can structure it in the future? If those debts are too great to overcome, and especially if you go back to your creditors and the creditors are like, no, we're not going to negotiate, you owe us now, yeah, maybe it's time to declare bankruptcy. Nobody wants to do that, but you have to be honest with yourself. So ask yourself that. Number 4 question is your why still big enough to overcome discouragement? Because right now, you're going to quit and give up. You have to ask yourself, is it because I am at this moment discouraged? Am I just really tired of this? And then take a look at the why. Why did you originally get into business? What was that big why that you dreamed that you had, and is it still there? Is it still possible? Is it big enough, that dream big enough to deal with all the discouragements and the struggles that you've been going through for the past couple of years? And if it is, then you need to find a way to go back and take that why and increase it in your mind. If it's gone, if it's vanished, maybe you have to be honest with yourself. And maybe this isn't going to happen. And then number 5, do you have a sufficient support system who can help you push through? Do you have family members? Do you have colleagues? Do you have business coaches who are going to help you push through? Or have they all basically gone exit stage left and now it's just you and maybe some employees who are not having a lot of fun? Can you go out and find sufficient support to help you? Yeah, you probably can. But if that's not possible and you're in a position where you cannot find that support, either families, business colleagues, paid support staff such as business coaches to support you, maybe this isn't it. So those are your 5 questions you need to ask yourself. Are you in an industry that's going down the tubes? Are you staying because of a sunk fallacy cost? Are your debts too great to overcome? Is your why still big enough? And do you have a sufficient support staff to help you? If you are in a position where you are thinking about quitting and giving up, I'd love to talk with you. Maybe talk through these 5 questions and say, can I do this or is it time to pull the plug? Go ahead and click below for my Calendly link for either a 15 or 30-minute call, and let's chat about it. I want to help you make the right decision for your business.